Hello and welcome back to Typical City. This is the name that we have been waiting for. Maybe not the name, but the sort of name that we've been waiting for. Raphina. That is a blockbuster signing. That's someone that really whets the appetite, gets the juices flowing, and gets me excited about the idea of a new Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup season all rolled up into one with a great winger on our right hand side. And if you squint a little bit and look at Raphina play and just picture Riyad Mahrez, the body language, the similarities, it's uncanny. I never really compared the two, to be honest. I always just looked at them separately because that's what you tend to do with players. But you compare the two and it is very, very like for like. The same sort of style, that close control, the elegant first touch, the way he wants to just drift and the way he dangles his arms as well. Even the body language is the same sort of technique, and he can whip a ball into that far corner. I'm excited. This is the name that I think will excite a lot of City fans, and it is a like-for-like replacement. 60 million euros is his market value, which is the same, I think it was about 60 million for Riyad Mahrez, or thereabouts, 64, 65, something like that for Riyad Mahrez. So similar sort of ballpark, 26 years old, so we've got prime years ahead of him. And he's already been in the Premier League as well, up north in Leeds as well, so he's familiar with the Premier League. He's sort of had a mixed season at Barcelona. I think it was, 10 goals and 12 assists, but that's in 50 appearances across all the competitions at Barcelona last season, whereas he got 11 goals and 3 assists in 35 appearances with Leeds. So, I mean, that's not bad going, is it? The assists was a bit low, but you're in a Leeds team, and that's in the Premier League, a relegated Leeds, mind you, as well. So the numbers in Barcelona don't leap at you, but they're certainly not bad. 10 goals and 12 assists. They're Riyad Mahrez numbers, aren't they, at the end of the day? So the 60 million euros, again, doable, very doable, especially if we're getting 30 for Riyad Mahrez, and we only, this is sounding like good business. This comes in the way of Mercato, the publication. I think it's Spanish. I think they're Spanish, but this one is something that I think will excite City fans. It excites me. I think this would be a great addition to the squad. Certainly as a replacement for Riyad Mahrez, it's perfect, really. Dani Olmo, that's another player that City have been linked with. £40 million market value. 25 years old, but for me, right-footed. A very similar player in the way he's good in tight spaces, can dribble with the ball, but he's right-footed. So we tend to want to have a right footer on the left and a left footer on the right. That tends to be the way Pep plays his wingers. And I mean, if we do go down that road, you don't really want one player cutting in and the other staying out wide and going round the outside instead. You can have that option, I suppose, but I do think cutting inside is ideal. And the thing with Raphina as well, he's got a right foot. We're not talking about one-footed Raphina. Dani Olmo, again, can use his left foot, but Raphina, absolutely. You've seen him score multiple goals with his right foot. Last season, in his Barcelona days and in a Leeds shirt as well, he scored with his right foot and his left foot, just like Riyad Mahrez can do. Very two-footed. Obviously, left-footed is the foot that stands out, and Riyad Mahrez very much so, but he didn't shy away from using his right, and you need that sometimes to get to the byline and create that unknown factor for the defender who's eyeing you up, which way you're going to go. And if you're always going on your left, I mean, there are some players that are so good at chopping onto their left, like Riyad Mahrez, that even though you know what they're going to do, doesn't mean you can stop it. But Dani Olmo, 5 goals, 11 assists in 31 appearances for RB Leipzig. He does carry the ball really well, and I can see why. Started at Barcelona youth as well, so he's got that Pep vibe about him. It makes sense. It's not a bad signing, but Raphina, for me, that's a level above. That's the big marquee blockbuster shirt-selling signing that I think will appease a lot of City fans. And it's not just a shirt seller, you know. The guy's quality. I think he got 11 yellow cards last season. So he's not shy of a tackle. Whether that's diving, mouthing off to the referee, I don't know what those individual yellow cards were actually for, but that's good in a way. I would rather that than someone who's 0 yellow cards and 0 red cards and is scared of tackling and doesn't head the ball. That sort of player. Mahrez was a little bit like that, quiet, didn't get involved. I'd rather a tough tackling, someone who charges at you, tackles you, goes through you. And he's got the elegant side of the game, and he can dribble, and he's got the flair side of the game, but he'll smash you as well. Having that as well is vital in the Premier League. And I'm pretty sure he found that in Leeds when he was under Bielsa. But then also other news, James Trafford, which is a name that seems to have already been established as a Burnley player, but that medical has actually gone through now, which is not that interesting in the fact that it was expected 19 million. But what is interesting is, and this comes from Fabrizio Romano as well, so 19 million pound fee, but the buyback clause is what's interesting, and apparently it's triple what they're paying for him, so just under 60 million pound buyback clause. So is that even worth a buyback clause? Was it even worth inserting at that price? Because I think that's gonna, if he ends up at the level that is predicted to reach, that's probably going to be the going rate for everybody. So that buyback clause doesn't really give us that much of an advantage over everybody else. I mean, I can't see him becoming a 70, 80 million pound goalkeeper. I mean, who knows? Maybe. The way the market's going right now and the figures that are getting paid on players, maybe. It's not that unfathomable to imagine a goalkeeper going for 80 million in 3 or 4 years' time. You never know. Plus, he's English as well. So going from England to an English club to an English club could well be another signing that breaks the bank and new goalkeeping record and all that malarkey that's continuing to get records broken year after year after year. So maybe, but 60 million, just under 60 million pound buyback clause, was it worth even inserting the clause? I'm not so sure anymore. One thing I've not mentioned as well, and I'm really happy for Benjamin Mendy joining Lorient League One. I've not really gone into the subject because it's not really football at the end of the day, but the fact that now he's joined a football club and he's obviously a former City player, that seems to be the association with anybody now. If you did play for Man City at any point, I remember Adam Johnson, all the things that he had associated with his private life, awful things. But it was always a former Man City player, wasn't it? If anyone's doing anything wrong and they even stepped their foot into the Manchester City premises, then they're a former Manchester City associate. And Benjamin Mendy is just that. An innocent man, mind you. And it bothers me. It really bothers me. And it's like, the outcry's already happened. And you're seeing people obviously complaining that, oh, well, he's still guilty. How can that many girls suggest that he did that and now all of a sudden he didn't do it? Well, stranger things have happened. A bigger like camaraderie of girls getting together and going against Benjamin Mendy to what? Why would they do that? I wonder why. Nothing to do with money, is it? Nothing to do with money at all. So the fact that he's innocent, you take that at face value. I know there are court cases over the days that people have been found innocent and then actually been found they were actually guilty, but people have already made their mind up about Benjamin Mendy, but the poor guy, man, has had his career just destroyed. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And I mean, for me, it shouldn't even be an if he's innocent, because he is innocent. The court has decided he's innocent, so he's an innocent man. The fact that we're now discussing whether he actually is innocent or not, it's been decided. He's innocent. The court said so. So an innocent man has had his life destroyed. What are the repercussions for those individuals that dragged his name through the mud, humiliated him, put him in prison, and destroyed his footballing career to the point where he's left Manchester City Football Club? I didn't want him at the club from footballing reasons. I didn't think he was good enough to play in City. So he's a great crosser of the ball and he would maraud down that left side really well. But ask him to defend at your peril, because we will be conceding goals if he is asked to defend. But forget that. The man doesn't deserve, no matter how bad you are at football, you don't deserve to be put in prison for false accusations like that. It's absolutely disgusting. It really is. And it should be roles reversed as far as I'm concerned. You shouldn't. The accusers have been found to have lied. So now there should be a new case formed, and how many years behind bars are they going to have now? Because that's what it should be. And what a downward step. League One, Lorient, he's gone to, and I mean, it's disappointing. It really is so upsetting. It's not right at all, is it? And another moan I've got as well is, I was saying yesterday, I've already done a short on it as well, Cancelo back in training. Again, I said it yesterday. And what I was saying yesterday was how he must apologise. And if he does apologise wholeheartedly, means what he says, then okay. I think, yeah, I'm a man of second chances. I believe in second chances. I think that's important. I'm sure Pep would be the same. But instead of coming into City, and so the process is he's kicked off about not getting enough minutes under Pep Guardiola, had a hissy fit, spat his dummy out, stormed out of training, whatever he did, and then he's been loaned out to Bayern Munich, and then he made comments regarding Thomas Tuchel and how he wants Thomas Tuchel to win him a Champions League, bearing in mind he's still a City player and he has to face City. Okay, he has to face City, and then he ends up getting photographed sulking, kicking off in training, having his head in his hands because Thomas Tuchel's now not giving him as many minutes. And there's a pattern forming there, isn't there? There is a pattern forming already. And now he's not come back to apologise. Instead, he's posting on Instagram a picture of him, a video of him in a Portugal shirt, saying, believe in yourself. And I can't remember what he said, but like, forget the rest. That was it. Believe in yourself. Forget the rest. What he taught is so childish and infantile behaviour. It is just pathetic. The man is paid by City. As far as that, you're a Manchester City employee. Respect your employee until you get your move. Behind the closed doors, once you're at City, you should work and focus on City. Behind closed doors, if you want to get your move and get your agent involved, do that. But if you're City and you're looking at this guy who's quite openly advertising himself as not a City player anymore, whilst he still is contracted to Manchester City, I would be, is that your behaviour now? Right, okay, you work for me, you do as I say, Mr. João Cancelo. Get yourself into the bogs, toilet cleaning duty, dishwashing duty, do some fucking work and get the job done in a Manchester City, in representing Manchester City, whatever that job may be. It might not be football, because there's plenty of staff members who work at Manchester City who will work their socks off and not get a penny anywhere near what that guy's on. And they're not kicking off a fuss, and they're working respectfully and respecting their employer, as every good employee should do. And whilst he's going off, mouthing off and taking little Instagram posts and indicating to the world what his intentions are, it's pathetic. And there are so many other ways that he could have dealt with this, so many other ways to approach this. It's not on. It really isn't. This is the final straw for me. As you can tell, he's got to go. Finished. Finito. Done. Get him out. Sell him for whatever fee. I'm not that bothered anymore. Let him be someone else's problem. He's clearly a bad egg that needs to rot in someone else's training camp, as far as I'm concerned. That's it. Done. Get rid. But Blues, Raphina, that's better news. Let's think about that. Focus on Raphina. That's exciting. Whether it happens or not is yet remains to be seen. But it really is exciting. It makes sense. It's a very, very sensible signing and logical signing. Dani Olmo, similar, not as good as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it would be as impactful as Raphina. I don't think it would send shockwaves around Europe quite like Raphina would, and send fear factors into the other Premier League clubs like, they've lost Mahrez. They've got Raphina. Because that's what it would do. It would be like, like for like, really. And I mean, they're not any weaker. You know, people are celebrating the idea of City losing players, but patience, Blues. We are going to make some big signings. I'm so confident of that. Gvardiol, no news on that yet, but that sounds like it's going to happen. I hope it does. I hope. So there were some small rumours from non-credible sources that the deal's off. Not true. No signs of that from any credible sources, at least. Nothing I've read. But I don't think the deal is off. I think it is likely to happen as well. James Trafford as well. What are your thoughts on that? The buyback clause, was it even worth inserting that buyback clause for such a high fee? Probably not. Benjamin Mendy, what do you think of that? Awful. That's my opinion, quite simply. And Cancelo, is he out? Is he finished for you? Do you think he deserves another chance? He's not getting another chance. Let's be real. Get your comments in below. Like and subscribe, Blues, and I will see you in the next one.
This is typical City now, holding up silverware.